What's up, guys, and welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. It's your boy Cam. We're back finally. Hey, good to see you guys. As you guys can see, I'm very happy. The fight is over. It's already uploaded on the YouTube channel. I hope you guys all got a chance to watch it. If you haven't, you can pause this, go watch the fight, and come back. Yeah, it was cool. I won. I won in the first round. The guy chose not to come out for the second round. He said, I'm good. I'm done with all this. So he was done. Man, it was crazy. It was a crazy experience. By the way, if you watch the video, the guy at the end goes, he's in his 60s. He was not in his 60s. The guy was older, but he was not in his 60s. Anywho, it was a crazy experience. Holy shit. The last 2 years has just been a complete whirlwind of stuff, and I feel like I now get to kind of catch you up because I was trying to play the long game this whole time, but I had to stay so focused that it was very hard, especially towards the end, getting up to the fight. It was getting even harder to articulate things to you guys and be able to sit down and do this show because my mind was just so focused on the fight, which it had to be. But I knew that this comeback episode, I would come with so much value for you. I hope it's worth it to you, and I believe that it's going to be. So let's get right into it. If you didn't watch the fight and you don't even care, that's fine, no problem. The lessons that I've learned through this whole thing and that I'm hoping to share with you today, they can still apply whether you see the fight or are an MMA fan or not. Now, and with that being said, after I'm done with my usual episode, I will talk a little bit of MMA and kind of what's going on in that world, just because I think it's fun and this is my show. So here we go. It's up to you in the end. This comes from a incident that happened in my family a couple weeks ago, right? One person in my family happened to have a severe medical emergency, and it led to a lot of craziness in my life. Old people coming back into my life who I'd kind of distanced from, and people who haven't talked in years, possibly having to make reconnections and having to replace people throughout the country is difficult for everyone. So anyway, the one thing I learned, and I had to learn this at a very strange time because I was kind of in the middle of going through this. I don't want to call it a fight camp, but I was in the last few weeks leading up to my fight when all this happened. And I had to realize, like, okay, I've given a lot and I've sacrificed a lot for this fight. If I was to go down today, what would my family think was the most important thing to me? Would they think it was them? Or would they think it was fighting? And would they think it was my MMA career or my podcast, or, you know, what would they think? So that too, on top of trying to get in the mindset for the fight, I was also battling with that kind of a work-life balance kind of thing, which I always struggle with. I think anyone who's a parent struggles with that. We all feel like, I apologize, my nose is so itchy. My facial hair is all growing back, which is making my face all itchy. We all go through life and we get so consumed by the things that we're doing, and especially when you're a dream chaser, when you're reaching out for big things, sometimes it's easy to get stuck in that head down grind mentality. I do it a lot, and I forget that, like, and not to reference a cheesy thing, but like in one of my favorite movies, The Greatest Showman, they're trying to point out to him, like, you've achieved everything you ever wanted. You've got all the stuff, you've got all the recognition, people respect you, they love your show. What else is there? Like, what else is there for you? And he was like, well, you know, there's nothing. And they're just trying to tell him, like, hey man, you've got everything. Look around. You keep trying to climb and you keep trying to climb, but like, look around you. What you said you wanted, which was your family to be taken care of and all that kind of stuff, well, that's here now. And you have that, but you don't get to enjoy it because you're never here, because you're constantly head down grinding. So that's something to be advised of, right? Now, in the movie and in life, as it actually happens, sometimes it's a little too late. You know, you find out that you've head down grinded for 5 years, and your family was actually only willing to put up with 4 years and 6 months. So then you lose everything, And your timetable of success did not match up with their timetable of what they were willing to tolerate as a family. And one thing I always wanted to make sure of, and I had to check in with my wife constantly, and I encourage you guys to do this with your spouses or whoever you have in your life, check in with them and go, hey man, where do we stand right now? With everything that's going on in life, the way that my attitude is, the way that my schedule is, the way your schedule is, the way finances are, the way things are going with the kids, where do we stand across the board? And it's important that you don't just have surface level conversations. Hey, are we okay? Yeah, we're fine. Cool. What do you want for dinner? No, man. Hey, where do we stand right now? What do I need to improve on? What are some things that I've been noticing that, you know, a lot of couples especially don't want to have those conversations. Hey, man, what have I been doing this week that's got you kind of bugged out or feeling some type of way about me? Can we get it out and can we talk about it before the weekend so that way it doesn't turn into resentment next week? That kind of stuff I think is very, very important. And then on top of that, man, just being there for the people in your life. When you're at the end of your life, right? I know it's so cliche, and I say so many cliche things anymore, but like all the money and all the brand recognition and the fighting and the MMA records and the training that we've done and the gloves that we've bought, none of that goes with you when you're dead. The only thing that really does go with you is how you were remembered by the people that loved you. Now, yes, once you're done, your legacy is there, and you're to a point that means something. But I mean, there are basketball players who reach the height of their potential who will never remember their names. You know, fighters, same thing. What it is the people that you see and you impact on a daily basis. That is your true legacy. Some get the chance to put their story under bright lights and on a movie screen or in a book or something like that because of the extraordinary accomplishments that they did achieve. But usually in all those stories you watch as well, it comes with all that sacrifice. It comes with oftentimes fights between families, financial losses, damn near homelessness, drug addictions, alcoholisms, family divorces, custody battles. I mean, that's all a part of fucking success. And it's not until I truly believe, and I talked about this a little bit a couple episodes back, it's not until you truly believe that you are put on this earth for a reason. And you are put on this earth for something that you may not even understand. And I probably don't understand, and no one around you probably even understands. But what I want to encourage people is the only way. I've tried drugs, I've tried alcohol, I've tried combat sports, I've tried everything. The only way I can say that I've ever truly felt alive was the moment my kids were born. That was a very surreal feeling. That felt like I was traveling through time in that moment. Like part of me was dying and being reborn all at the same time. It was a very strange sensation on top of immediate emotion of, oh my God, look at this beautiful baby. That and the moments leading up to getting in the cage, and maybe I'll be able to insert some of those here. That'd be kind of cool if I get the time. The moments leading up to me going into the cage, man, I've never felt that alive before. Everyone kept saying, Cam, you need to kind of warm up, dude. You need to start moving around. And I was a little bit, but at the same token, I was like, man, I'm good. I don't really need to warm up. I don't need help getting in the mentality, man. I've been in the mentality for the last 8 months. I mean, you can ask my wife. I've been a very different person. My mind has changed so much. Now, look, I don't have a date set to go hurt somebody on purpose now. So I feel like I've even lightened up a little bit. I'm not so serious. I'm not so about stuff. I definitely I definitely noticed a little bit more of that in myself. Some of that was just me not dealing well with life and the things that were going on, but I definitely noticed a little bit more aggression in how I handled things. But again, it's not really about me. Anyway, I want to encourage you all, and I want to encourage you all in the strongest possible way that I can. Whatever that thought is, right? My whole life, I always attracted to heroic figures, I think as all men especially do, and I'm sure women do as well, but for me it was always fighters. I always loved movies about fighters. I always loved watching fighting. My dad used to show me like the fights between Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti, so like fighting has always been something I knew and I watched. I never believed I could be a fighter because I believed you had to be this certain type of guy to be a fighter. Let me check the camera really quickly. I hope it's still going. I thought you had to be like this type A personality all the time who had this strange supernatural ability to get punched in your face and deal with all that damage and then come bouncing back and fight through that horrific, almost like waking up in the middle of a surgery fucking pain with no anesthesia. Like, that's what I thought it took. That's genuinely in my head what my head made up. So like, so I never even started training MMA to find out for the first 25 years of my life. I just went, oh, you have to be that person. Instead of taking 5 seconds to actually go into an MMA gym and even just watch for a while and go, oh, that's not actually the way it works. So let me start you know, you may not be as much of a coward as I used to be, but I was, so, and I'm willing to admit that. That's why my show is called what it's called. I was a fucking coward. I was so afraid to try anything because I was so afraid that I just wasn't capable. That all came from a lot of negative self-talk, along with people talking negative to me a lot in my life. But at the same regard, when you're 26 years old, it's no longer anyone else's fault. You gotta either dedicate that you're gonna change that, or you're just gonna become a victim to it. And trust me, there's plenty of people who try to become a victim to it. It's actually a popular thing. So you would be amongst the masses by doing that. It's the people that go, you know what, fuck that. Fuck that. I'm tired. I'm tired of being scared. I'm tired. I think that the thing that's keeping me back in life is my innate inability to not be uncomfortable. For me, I remember one day I was walking outside when I was, I don't know, in my 20s, young 20s, 22. And I walked outside, and I was drinking a lot back then. And it was hot. It was a hot summer day, and I had to do something. I had to get like a case of water out of my car or something, and somebody asked me to go get it. And I walked out, and I started to immediately bead on the back of my neck, and I was like, oh man, I said, I'm going to start sweating if I do this. Fuck this. I'm going back inside. That's the type of person I was. Like, if I had to sweat, I thought that that was going to be too hard, and somehow that was going to like be too much for me to handle. So it wasn't even that I was just lazy and I didn't want to do it. It was also just I had no fucking confidence in myself. I was like, oh, sweating, hot, that must mean it's hard work. I'm not capable of hard work. I'll come back when it's easier. A lot of people get stuck on that, I think. They don't chase the things that they want because they think they're a massive piece of shit. I was like, dude, I am such a fucking lowlife of a man that I can't even sweat without walking. So that all started, you know, in my own head, I started to have those conversations. And then I just started to, you know, I heard the Joe Rogan podcast, the way he's talking about battling your inner bitch, and I was like, well, I definitely have one of those. So I might want to start fighting that motherfucker, right? And then throughout my life, I just noticed that like all these ceilings that I had previously had, I was stuck in a shitty marriage. Boom, I blasted through that fucking ceiling. And then I got a good marriage. Boom, I blasted through that ceiling. And not only mention, I deployed in the Army, which was always a goal of mine. I never made E5 in the Army, which was a goal of mine, but it was something that I no longer prioritized. Getting out and starting a new life was. So I did that. Fucking stand-up comedy, I did that. Fight, I've always wanted to say I train hard enough and go through the entire process of actually fighting, and I did that. And I love that, and that's still going to be, probably the majority of my life. But in the same regard, guys, it all started by just admitting to myself that, dude, you're kind of a bitch. You're kind of a bitch. Like, you don't like to do things that are hard, and it's not really your fault. It's not because they're hard, so therefore you just don't want to do them because you would rather do what is easy. It's just that I think a lot of us genuinely don't believe we have what it takes. I'm here to tell you, you have at least way more in you than what you're giving. I promise. I promise. And I'm only talking to those of you out there that feel like you're stuck in life. If you feel like you're crushing it right now, you're probably giving it everything you've got, and I hope that momentum keeps going for you. But I'm talking to my ones that are sitting here listening right now going, Cam, how do I get to the look on your face that I've seen through the Instagram the last couple of days? Well, guys, when you see the pictures of me with my hand being raised in the center of the octagon, like, you have to understand, when I'm screaming, I'm screaming, with everything in my body. I yell. Because everything that I've gone through, from my divorce, to my custody battles, to day-to-day struggles of finances, and how are we going to figure this out, and how is this going to come, and illnesses and family, and 2 years of holidays, and work schedules, and work problems, of me, my wife, having a kid, dealing with the visitation of my daughter, all those things, on top of 2 years of kicking my own ass. And trying to start all this podcast and this mega thing that I'm doing, of just me being me for a living. On top of all of that, I genuinely was able to stand in the cage and go, putting in the hard work on the days that you think you might really die from life. Like, legitimately, you think there are days within that 2-year span that you may not wake up the next day. Because life has just beaten your ass. Sometimes it was for a couple hours, and then it resolved. Sometimes it was for a couple days, and then it would resolve. Sometimes it was months. For everybody that I could be, while also trying to reach new people. That is that moment that you saw right there. Before I walked into the building on Saturday, I kind of just put my head down and closed my eyes, and I'm not a religious man. I don't pray to a white dude with long hair that I call Jesus or anything like that, but I bowed my head, and I do know my higher power to be God. I just don't know what he looks like, nor do I care. I do know that whatever it is, I believe he created all of this, whether it be through a big bang or through evolution. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to, nor is it important. So I hung my head and I said, God, through everything that we've been through, on the times that I thought you were here, and on the times I thought you were not, and on the times I thought people were here for me, and the times they have not been, I said, through everything that has happened, through the nights that I couldn't sleep thinking about all this, and knowing during every training session that if I tried hard enough and that if I did what it took, I would stand in the middle of the octagon with my hand being raised, and it was only because, for no other reason, I earned it, and life could not take that away from me. Because, like Teddy Atlas said, I put myself in a position to where I had 3 2-minute rounds at my disposal. Inside of those 3 2-minute rounds, I had the rare opportunity to make life fair. If I was willing to work hard enough and do everything it took, I could make this thing that we always say, life is not fair. I had the chance to make it fair. For that brief moment in time, I could control time for a moment. Now, if you go and watch the fight, you'll find that after the first round, my opponent goes, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. I throw in the towel. And you may not be able to hear it on the video, but some say they can. I stand up after I realize what's happened. It takes me a minute for me to even realize that the referee's called a stop to the fight. I'm talking to my coach, and I actually choked on some water, so they're trying to hurry up and get my mouthpiece out, and I'm not paying attention to what's going on. And then he comes over, the ref comes over and tells me, he goes, your opponent quit, he doesn't want to fight anymore. And I stand up and I just started screaming, no, you don't get to take this away from me. You don't get to take this from me. Because I was beating his ass. And so I stood up and just screamed, no, you don't get to take this away from me. And I was screaming towards his corner, but I wasn't screaming at him. I was just screaming at the situation. No, fuck you. You don't get to take this too. And then it hit me. You won, motherfucker. You won. You did enough. You beat his ass to the point where he can't come back out. You won. It's fair. It's fair. You won. Fair and square. And then he came over and he said, dude, I can't keep going. You know, I can't fucking breathe. And I gave him a hug and everything was good, but and then even in that moment, it still didn't feel real. I was like, man, fuck, I won, but did I win? Are they going to tell me some bullshit where because he's doing it this way, I don't get that medal that I dreamed about, and or this medal that I've had in my head for fucking 2 years, and telling me somehow I'm still going to get fucked because he quit, and because I couldn't actually put him to sleep. And they were like, no, motherfucker, you won. And when they put the medal around my neck, all I could do was scream in that moment, just because I felt it. I felt the power of the world in my hands in that moment. And even though it was only for a brief, that quick, that fast, that's it, you're just, and you feel so empowered in that moment because every fucking run, every pad session, every fucking day, on top of the weight cutting and everything else, every fucking day of worrying what the outcome of this fucking fight was going to be in that moment, I grabbed life by the balls and said, fuck you, this is mine. We don't always get that, man. Very rare. I'm 27 years old. The day I married my wife, and standing in the middle of that octagon was the 2 minutes. Literally. Saying I do, and I got 1 minute in the cage. It was about the only 2 minutes of my life that I could go, you know what? I get to decide what my future is like. Or I got to decide what I just did anyway. And the fact that would entirely affect my future. Because now I forever walk around with the lesson of if you're willing to do what it takes, and that's not enough, you have to be willing to do what it takes and then have the courage to stick it out. I can't even tell you how many times, even in just the last week before the fight, I was like, dude, I can't do this. What the fuck am I doing? Let alone the last 6 to 8 months to 2 years that I've been training. Guys, your brain will try to talk you out of shit before you even consider trying it. Like I said in the beginning of this, My brain told me years ago, dude, you'll never be a fighter. And I just never paid attention, dude. Why does your brain keep telling you you'll never be a fighter? You're not trying to be a fighter. So why does it keep saying that? You love these movies, but every time you watch them, you end up bummed out because you end up thinking, well, I'll never be that. And just one day, my head went, hey, dude, well then just go be it. Who cares what anyone says? What if you never fucking win? Who cares? It's better than sitting around saying I'm a piece of shit, even though you never tried. You gotta try, guys. You have to try. If you don't try, then I don't ever want to hear you blame life for being unfair. I don't ever want to hear you blame anyone else for your problems, or I don't ever want to hear you saying that other people are the cause of your problems. If you are not trying every single day towards something, then you are choosing to be a victim in life. And with that, I'm going to sign off. Guys, go check out the fight at Cam Williamson Official on the Instagram, Cam Williamson Official on YouTube. If you guys are listening on the audio, we do have a video series. Please like, subscribe, leave reviews. Guys, thank you to all of my sponsors. Please go over to the Instagram page and check out all the sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Guys, go over to Manscaped, use code ROAD20, and that gets you 20% and free expedited shipping on all Manscaped products. Guys, I love all their sprays. You've heard me talking about it before. If you haven't, guys, Manscaped has a razor. It's the Lawnmower 2.0 with the skin guard. That is so that when guys, it is called Manscaped, however, now women can use it. Guys, when you're shaving your nether regions and you smoothly glide, not carefully where you're going, trying to be careful. No, it's a glide. It's a like you're scooping ice cream with a hot spoon. Smooth on your balls without any blood pinching or snagging, because the razor, the Lawnmower 2.0, comes with that little guard right there. Smooth as scooping ice cream with a hot ass spoon. Guys, go over, get it today, get 2 of them. Then you got one for your nuts, one for your face. Hey, that's the only really way you should be doing it, you nasties. Guys, go over to Manscaped, code ROAD20, 20% off, expedited shipping. We out!